Have you ever wondered how that delicious silky chocolate is made? Welcome to the fascinating world of chocolate making, a realm where every step is a dance of precision and craft. And the main star of the show, the humble cocoa bean. This tiny gem is the heart and soul of every chocolate bar you've ever enjoyed, and its journey from tree to treat is nothing short of magical. Our story begins in the lush tropical regions where cocoa trees thrive. These beans undergo a remarkable transformation through a series of carefully orchestrated steps. Each stage, from fermentation to roasting, grinding to conching, and finally tempering and molding, is a testament to the art and science that goes into creating that perfect bar of chocolate. So, if you're curious about the sweet mystery behind your favorite treat, you're in the right place. Stay tuned as we unravel the journey of chocolate from bean to bar. Our journey begins in the tropical regions where cocoa trees flourish. Picture a world filled with lush greenery, warm temperatures, and high humidity. This is the realm of the cocoa tree, a tree of such immense significance it's often dubbed the food of the gods. These trees bear remarkable fruit known as cocoa pods. Each pod is a treasure chest holding the key to our beloved chocolate, cocoa beans. Harvesting these pods is an art in itself, usually done by hand to avoid damaging the precious cargo inside. Once a cocoa pod is harvested, it's cracked open to reveal its bounty. Inside each pod, you'll find a cluster of wet, white cocoa beans covered in a sweet, sticky pulp. These beans are the heart and soul of chocolate. They are carefully extracted, leaving behind the husk and pulp. Once the beans are extracted, they're ready for the next stage, fermentation. This is where the magic really begins, transforming the humble bean into the base for decadent chocolate. Ever wondered what gives chocolate its unique taste? The secret lies in fermentation. Yes, the very same process that turns grapes into wine and cabbage into sauerkraut is also responsible for the divine flavor of chocolate. Once the cocoa beans are harvested, they're placed inside large containers. Here, they're left to ferment for around 5 to 7 days. During this time, natural yeasts and bacteria work their magic, breaking down the sugars in the beans. This process results in the production of heat and alcohol, which in turn lead to the death of the bean. But don't be alarmed, this is where the magic happens. As the bean dies, it undergoes a metamorphosis, awakening a plethora of flavors that were previously dormant. The once bitter and astringent beans are transformed into the base of what we know and love as chocolate. After fermentation, the beans undergo a thorough drying process. The next stage involves drying and roasting, which truly brings out the chocolatey flavor we all love. It's a process that is as much an art as it is a science. The drying process is essential to prevent the growth of mold, and must be done carefully to preserve the complex flavors within each bean. Once the beans are dry, they are ready for roasting. Roasting is a heat-based process that further develops the flavor profile of the cocoa beans. It's during this stage that the cocoa beans begin to take on that familiar, delectable chocolate taste. The roasting process is a delicate dance of temperature and time. Each variety of cocoa beans has its own sweet spot for roasting, and finding that balance can be the difference between a good batch of chocolate and an extraordinary one. Imagine a coffee roaster at work. The beans tumble and turn in the heated drum, their color deepening as the heat works its magic. It's a similar process for cocoa beans. The heat of the roasting process awakens the flavors inside the beans, transforming them from their raw, bitter state into something rich and complex. The aroma during roasting is simply intoxicating. It fills the air with a scent that is sweet, earthy, and undeniably chocolatey. This is the moment when the cocoa beans truly begin their transformation into chocolate. Once roasted to perfection, it's time for the beans to be transformed into a liquid state. Now the roasted cocoa beans are ready to undergo a complete transformation. Our journey now leads us to the grinding phase. This is where the cocoa beans, rich in flavor from the roasting, are ground down into a thick, liquid state. Imagine this process like grinding coffee beans, but instead of a dry, granulated end product, we're left with something called cocoa liquor. This isn't the sort of liquor you'd find behind a bar, of course. It's a dense, pure chocolatey paste, derived solely from the cocoa bean itself. Now, what's chocolate without a touch of sweetness? This is where sugar enters the picture. The cocoa liquor is mixed with sugar, the quantity of which can vary depending on the type of chocolate being made. For instance, dark chocolate contains less sugar than its milk chocolate counterpart. Speaking of milk chocolate, it's at this stage that milk in powdered form is added to the mix. The combination of cocoa liquor, sugar, and milk creates a rough, gritty texture. If you've ever had stone-ground chocolate, you have an idea of what this feels like, but most of us prefer our chocolate smooth and velvety, right? Enter the process of conching. Named after the shell-like shape of the original machines used for this process, conching is a method of aeration and agitation. The chocolate mixture is continuously stirred and ground, sometimes for several hours or even days. The friction and heat produced during conching help to further refine the chocolate, smoothing out any gritty particles and developing the flavors. The length of the conching process can greatly affect the final product. A short conching time may leave the chocolate with a rougher texture and more intense, less harmonized flavors. On the other hand, a long conching time results in a smoother, more mellow chocolate. And there you have it. We've journeyed from the cocoa bean to a smooth, luxurious chocolate mixture. After hours of conching, the chocolate is finally ready for the final stage. The final stages of chocolate making involve tempering and molding. Now, tempering might sound like a complicated scientific term, but it's really all about temperature control. This process is crucial in giving the chocolate its shiny appearance and that delightful snap when you break a piece off. Tempering involves heating and cooling the chocolate in a specific way. After being heated to a temperature that breaks down its crystal structure, the chocolate is then cooled down, allowing the fat molecules to reorganize and form a stable crystalline structure. It's a delicate dance of heat that results in a glossy finish and a smooth texture. But why is this so important? Well, without tempering, the chocolate would look dull and crumbly. It wouldn't melt evenly in your mouth, and the texture would be all wrong. Tempering is what gives chocolate its professional finish, so it's a step that simply can't be skipped. Once the chocolate is tempered, it's time for molding. This is where the liquid chocolate is poured into molds of various shapes and sizes. Whether it's a classic bar, a fun shape for a holiday, or a delicate truffle, this is the stage where the chocolate gets its final form. The molds are then vibrated to remove any air bubbles that might have been trapped during the pouring process. Once the chocolate is smooth and bubble-free, it's off to the cooling tunnel. Here, the chocolate will solidify, taking on the shape of the mold. Finally, the chocolate is carefully removed from the molds, revealing the final product. And there you have it, the journey of a cocoa bean into a delightful bar of chocolate. From the tropical climates where the cocoa trees grow, through the careful selection, fermentation, drying, roasting and grinding, to the delicate tempering and molding process, every step is a testament to the art and science of chocolate making. It's a sweet journey indeed, filled with passion and precision, resulting in a treat that brings joy to millions around the world. From a simple cocoa bean to the chocolate bar you savor, the process is truly fascinating. We've journeyed from the tropical origins of the cocoa bean through the transformative stages of fermentation, drying, roasting, grinding, conching, tempering, and molding. Each step, an art form in itself, contributes to the remarkable symphony of flavors we adore. Next time you bite into a chocolate bar, remember the incredible journey it's been on. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our channel for more fascinating insights.